The global chili market is estimated at $380 million as the 2014 Ghana generated revenue from chili exports at about $13.4 million. We were banned in 2015 due to some pest infections and some challenges along the value chain. But in 2017, the ban was released. However, in 2021, our revenue generated from chili exports declined to $87,000. Why is Ghana suffering in this context? It is for this reason that GESAL, together with its partners, are investing along the chili value chain. Today on Food Chain, we explore why and how this is going to revolutionize the sector. My name is Emma Davis. Pepper is an important vegetable used in preparing food in most Ghanaian homes. It is used in sauce and also used for snacks like egg and pepper, also known as kosuani meko. Due to the high consumption of it, World Data Atlas shows that Ghana produces an average of 3,700 tons of pepper annually. The mode of production over the years had been traditional farming, but the past 8 years have seen a gradual shift to the net house technology. Director of Agribusiness at GESAL, Samuel Yeboah, explains the technology.
GESAL, as part of our 5 years development plan, is encouraging the production for export. That is export-oriented activities to ensure that Ghana brings more foreign exchange into the country to support our economy. So we have conducted a study tour to Kenya, one company called VegPro Kenya, who are doing very well in the production of vegetables. And chili is one of their key crops that they produce over there. So after the study tour, GESAL took it upon ourselves to pilot the production of chilies in Ghana, to develop a business case for all the industry players and also the financiers, including the media, of course, like you, to come and see what is possible in Ghana and what can help the country get back to our past glory in terms of chili production. So we started this about 4 months ago. We did a nursery for 6 weeks, after which we did the transplanting, especially exactly on the 17th of May. So these crops you see here are 10 weeks old in this house, and harvesting has started this week on schedule. We expect to make about $25,000 from this production alone, which is 0.4 of a hectare, 1 acre to be precise. At the end of the production season, it will take us 1 year, which is 12 months, to complete the cycle. We want to do this to encourage the producers that is doable, and for the banks also to see that is doable. Whoever comes to them to raise money to do this venture, they should support, because it's a viable business and it will help the country. So in the agricultural sector, if you want to embark on an export production, you need some key partners like Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Department, which is PPRSD, Department of MOFA. So they are one of our collaborators. They ensure that we are doing this under the right protocol in terms of sanitary and phytosanitary practices. So PPRSD is one. We have GTI, which is a USAID project, also part of this program. They are also co-sharing the cost with us. We have some of the fertilizer companies, especially Yara, who develop a customized fertilizer product for us, which is suited just for chili production. So Yara is also a partner, giving us free fertilizers We have other companies that are also coming on board, like Agromoti and agrochemical dealer also coming to give us, how do you call it? To give us input for the production. So these are our key collaborators: PPRSD, Yara, GTI, GESAL are doing this project together. We have an estimated one which we are working towards, which you should be spending about $25,000 per hectare, and you expect to get double of that, up to $50,000 after 1 year. But we have just started doing it in Ghana, and we are now testing the numbers to ensure that, to develop that case to see if the analysis we are working towards will work. So currently, we cannot give you an exact figure of where we are, but at the end of the pilot program, we will be able to establish the business analysis or the cost-benefit analysis and share with the media. In the first place, if you don't use this system for the production of this export chili, you will not be given the permit or the certification by PPRSD to do it. And secondly, it's a control environment. So you are able to control all your practices, right from irrigation, plant protection activities, your harvesting, everything you do here is under control. So you are able to get the maximum yield from this production rather than doing it in the open. And of course, your plant protection, the insects will be prevented because you have the net, you have the control system to ensure that the insects don't come in. So working here is the best for every producer to embark on.
From planting here to harvesting, what's the duration?
Planting to harvesting is 4 months. That's 16 weeks. Yes.
And then the cycle continues again.
The cycle of harvesting continues for the next 8 weeks. 8 months. Sorry. So it's a 1 year cycle production. Specifically, we are doing chili pepper now, which is the bird's eye Demon F1 variety. But with time, we will also go into other varieties of chili pepper like the Scotch bonnet, the habanero, and the rest. After this project, we are taking other crops that are exportable like pomegranate and the rest also to try them. So it's a project GESAL is embarking on to ensure that we bring this initiative of developing exportable products or produce in Ghana.
You also spoke about replicating it in other regions.
Yes, currently we have identified 4 locations. First one here, we have 2 in Volta region, that is Ziope and Woje near Have. Then the 4th one is at Chechere in Eastern region near Suhum. So these are the areas we will pilot this demonstration for the next 1 year.
In 2014, the European Union imposed a ban on vegetable exports to its markets due to non-compliance with sanitary and phytosanitary requirements. The EU ban was removed in November 2017 following an improvement in the requirements, but vegetable exports, especially chilies, have not recovered to the pre-EU ban levels. In a bid to revive the sector, GESAL started a commercial trial of production of chili in net houses. Techi Straha is Chief Operating Officer at GESAL.
GESAL was set up to provide credit guarantees to the financial institutions to be able to stimulate lending to agric. And over the 3 years that we've operated, we also realized that there are certain challenges that agribusinesses face. And these are boiled down to some policy initiatives that are not inuring to the benefit of these agribusiness. So that's why in last year we launched the agribusiness stakeholder advocacy platform, which is the policy wing of GESAL. So as part of that, we are to identify certain challenges and work with the stakeholders in the sector to address it. And we identify that vegetable export used to be one of the major foreign exchange earnings for the Ghanaian economy. But since 2014, when the ban was placed on vegetable export from Ghana, in terms of export revenue, has reduced from in excess of $5 million, especially for chili alone, to in 2014 to 87,000 in 2021. So you can see the significant loss of revenue into this sector. So what we are doing here is an intervention. We want to intervene in this sector to demonstrate to the agribusiness and the financial institutions that it's possible to produce pepper in net houses, which using this low technology for export. One, it helps to address some of the phytosanitary issues that the EU raised with respect to excessive use of agrochemical because of pest infestation. Because the net house, one of the risks that it addresses is it minimizes pest infestation as against open field production. So it's not that we've veered off from our core activities, but we intervening to show that it's profitable to grow pepper under the net houses. Because at the end of the commercial trial, as I said, we're doing it in 4 locations. We'll use the resource to establish a cost-benefit analysis and also come out with a business case that we will present to the agribusinesses and the financial institutions. And those businesses and financial institutions will take it up. We as GESA will use our credit guarantee to support those businesses. And the market cannot be filled in the EU. And currently, our technical partner, VegPro, is providing the market for this commercial trial. And when it gets into the expanded stage where businesses take it up, that market is there, as well as other markets that they will find in the EU.
Okay, what has been your strategy with the banks, to ensure that they come on board? We know GESA is supposed to guarantee, to help banks, give loans to farmers. What has been the strategy you've been using, especially in this chili value chain?
Okay, so currently we've signed on to about 28 financial institutions to benefit from our credit guarantee. Out of these 28, 16 are commercial banks. So right from the word go, when we launched the initiative in last year, October, we involved the banks. We indicated our intention to do this. So along the line, we've been bringing them to the site. And today, about 5 of the banks representatives are here to see the harvesting and export of the first produce for the commercial bank. So we've been carrying them along for them to see and appreciate what is happening here. And also what in terms of the expected investment, so that at the end of the day, when an agribusiness approach them, it becomes easier because they appreciate what the whole process is.
Okay, so far with this project, how much have you gotten from the banks, and which of the banks supported?
So, in terms of the funding, we are using our resources together with some resources we are expecting from USAID, Feed the Future, Ghana Trade and Investment Initiative, GTI. The two are co-funding. But the point is, at the end of it, we know we will recoup the whatever investment from we are private company.
It is estimated that Ghana lost $30 million during the period the ban was imposed. President of the Ghana Vegetable Producers and Exporters Association, Dr. Felix Kamasa, called for more investments in the net house technology to prevent a recurrence of a ban.
I'm happy to see this because this is one of my vision. I've been talking about it for years. So I'm happy the stakeholders are coming together to put up this system because we see how global climate is affecting agriculture in the whole world. So if you travel, you could see this is a system they are using to help to solve the issue, because we can't wait and be waiting for Almighty God and looking for rain before you do agriculture when you want to use agriculture as agribusiness. So this is mechanized farm. I always say that Ghana, we are blessed. It's doable if you have the right equipment in place when you are talking about agribusiness, because we are close to Europe. We take about 5.5 hours, let's say 6 hours to go to Europe. So if you are talking about export market, these are the areas we have to be thinking, and then we'll be looking for investment towards that area. And most suitable part is that now everybody is talking about youth in agriculture, and this is the way it will help most of the youth to be attractive for them to look at the agriculture area and see that not everybody can be in a bank or be in offices. It's possible for us to have this opportunity, have this setup around, so that we talk about commercial farming and bring the youth on board before you can employ and scale people to talk about harvesting and all those things. So I'm so happy to see this system is working. We have tried, and in our own field we see it. When they start, some of us we involve in terms of the technical protocol. So it's good. This system is not cheap. It's very expensive. The youth cannot afford. I think government is trying to do something to look at this youth in agriculture, but they are not looking at the setup, the mode very well. They have to involve the stakeholder together and see what they are doing here. Then they can able to have that blueprint. And then they can circulate, and then the bank can have a comfortable, because the bank, you know, they look at the figures. It's depositors, their money they use. So if government want to solve issue in terms of the foreign exchange to help the youth unemployment, these are some of the system they have to. So they have to involve the organization who is the lead partner in this. We as association, we play a critical role. If they're able to do that, we can able to have a blueprint where the government can look at that critically and then give comfortably to the bank. Then the bank can support the youth so that we can able to solve our employment issue. I believe that if we are able to have this setup across, even if it's 4 regions, within 3 years, we can bounce back to those years where we have issue of the ban. We can able to make our margin, because as I earlier said, that we are close to Europe. We take 6.5 hours, but you go and check, Kenya export more than Ghana, and Kenya take 11 hours. And our weather can support this for throughout the year, because we have tried. It's just that the government have to pay attention. Where people said sometimes we private sector, we talk about government. The road, we even move from there to this place. Private sector cannot take all its capital to invest in that. We just need those access road, have a good policy in agriculture sector. If you're able to do that, export, we can export to bring a foreign inflow. See where our dollar is. And the challenge is that Ghana, we think about only importation. If you're able to put this thing up, and every week we are even exporting about 100 tons. Do you know that what means to Ghana? It's a lot of it, and this is a short-term crop. And we realize that Ghana, our focus is on cocoa. The cocoa gives a comfortable lead for the government to go for indicator loan, where we are telling them that Chile also can give the same thing if we're able to practice it for the next 5 years. I have a confidence within 14 years in agri-space. I know it's possible, and you can see it yourself. One plant, you'll be seeing 30 fruits on one plant. So it's possible, it's doable. So they should involve those, the lead partner which is doing this. They are coming with the protocol. They can able to put this in together then the bank, the financiers also can understand the protocol very well. They will involve them in the training, and then we can able to have this across the region. I think it's, I don't think we'll be having issue with in terms of foreign inflow and all those things, because agriculture based on quality input, quality seed, good access to road. If, for example, these products they are harvesting today, if it's in one corner of the region, before they get to the airport, it will be late because they don't have a good access of road. So sometimes when we talk about government involvement, we are not saying government should give us money. We are just saying a government to have a good policy towards the agri direction. Then you can help the partners, then we come together. And bear in mind that private sector cannot do anything without government involvement. So these are the opportunity. I think that if you're able to do it, we can able to have more return from our export to achieve the billions of dollars we're able to those time. 2021 and all those things we'll be exporting, and then since they leave the ban, the market is there. So we need a government attention so that we can have a formidable proposal for the youth and everybody involvement, then we can achieve a good product to export.
I understand codling moth was one of the major reasons why, pepper was banned. What are farmers doing differently to ensure that this doesn't occur again, or in the future we do not have to encounter another ban for probably another disease or pest or something?
Major things the farmers are looking at to prevent those pests. That's why we are here now. This is a control environment. It's easy for a farmer to identify when you come to go around than open field. When you go to open field, you can't see how the plant, you can't even see a pepper to be tall to my size like this. That means they are doing something right. See how they trellises and position the pepper. And so these are some of the advantage we want. And then EU, when you go right now, you go to their field, they're also growing their chili in a controlled environment, because the assumption is that when you grow the pepper in a controlled environment, you are not going to have a pest infestation. Chemical residue will be lesser, because open field you'll be seeing pests, so you're forced to apply hot chemical. So when the product even get to the market, you are having issue with the chemical residues and the pests that win. So this, we call it controlled environment. So this is one of the major key, but it's not cheap. It comes with the cost.
Juliana Asante Dati, Executive Director of Agri Impact, an agribusiness consultancy firm managing the technology, highlighted the importance of the NetHouse technology.
It's been good collaborating because we have the investment here, and we also understand the need for piloting to establish the facts before any business venture is started properly. So when we were approached by GESAL that they wanted to use our facility to do the pilot, we bought into the program because, one, we get to learn also how it's done properly, the protocols. We could also make inputs into the process, and we also get to train our staff on it. And we also see the economics of it, so that as a profit-making company, we can also in the future invest in it. And also, we also do a lot of consulting and business advisory services. So to be able to advise, you have to know your facts, and this also helps us in establishing the cost of pepper production for exports. And so that's why we participated, and it's been good. We've opened our doors, so the nursery was done here. Transplanting, our workers manage the facility here. They supervise, they get involved. Along the entire chain, we've been involved in the process, and it's been a good one because we saw that as an important contribution to the process.
Okay, as an agribusiness consultant, that you are invested or you are into making greenhouses, net houses, how different is this from the traditional mode of farming, especially chili? What has been the different part to ensuring that the industry grows?
If we know anything about the chili industry in Ghana, you will know that we used to export a lot in the past, and we've been banned in the EU, mainly from contamination of pesticides, the high use of pesticides and other unsanitary practices. So we've had our exports banned. So from a high of 5 million in 2014, now we are doing about 87,000, which is really, really low. So what we are trying to do under the protected cultivation is that, one, you get to control some of the parameters. So even though this is a net and it rains and it will come in, the sizes of the pores would break the impact of the rain. So not all of the rain, and also it will keep out some of the dirt. We are using irrigation. So when there's no rain, we can still continue production, and we do the fertigation and everything through the dripper system. We get to control the fertilizers and agro inputs that you use. And we're also following a protocol. So it's not just about spraying. You have to spray at the right time. You have to spray the right quantity. You even have to use the right applicator to do the spraying. So all of these protocols is what makes the protected cultivation better as compared to the open field. We are also doing intensive cultivation. So in this small space that you are doing, you get a lot more because you are controlling a lot of the factors. If you take, let's say, the greenhouse, the 650 square meter greenhouse can give you as much yield as you get from a whole hectare of open field. So we are talking about intensive cultivation. We are talking about effective use of space. We are talking about minimal use of agro inputs, because you control when you give it, how much you give it, how you apply it, and if you do it at the right time. And also we do other integrated pest management. So we do scouting and all that. All of those factors makes the protected and controlled production better. And so you are able to get better productivity out of that as compared to what they do on the open field.
Okay. What has been the impact of this project on job creation?
We are yet to fully establish that, but in the nursery alone, we had over 5 people helping with the nursery. And when we had to transplant the seedling, we brought over 10 people to come and help. This one net house, which is about 4,000 square meters, we brought about 10 people to support with the transplanting. When we're laying the mulch, we hired labor. And as you can see, there are women mostly who have been contracted to do the harvesting. They train about 10 people to support, and then also others can come in and do it as a contract. So by the time we finish all of this process, we would have provided employment for at least 30 to 40 people in just this 4,000 square meters, which is just about a quarter of a hectare. So if we do 1 hectare, which is 10,000 square meters, 2.5 times this one, you can imagine. And then if we go on to 100 and 200 hectares, then we will provide employment opportunity, both long-term and short-term, for a lot of people. Either you would come in at the nursery stage transplanting. We had people, the structure had 2 permanent staff who were helping with the weed control. Even though we've done mulching, we still had to do a bit of weed management. So we had 2 permanent staff, but the casual labor that has come and gone for the various activities have been over 30 people. And so this is just 4,000 square meters. If we do that and multiply by the hectareages that we would do, then you see that we will provide opportunities for a lot more people.
Okay. How do you foresee the future of the chili industry?
I think Ghana can go back to its former glory and even do more, because these days with the protected cultivation, if we can invest in this and expand this, then we can meet the quality requirements that the export market wants. And we should be able to surpass the 5 million that we're doing, because that was mainly open field anyway. But if we want to grow the industry, it is really about the safe use of chemicals, the right application at the right time. And so if we follow the protocols, I think that the market is there. There is an unmet demand. There's so much of it that is wanted. So really, we can capture as much of that as we want if we can get our production practices right. And that is what this pilot has been about, that we want to be sure we have established the protocols and that it is easy to comply and can be done. And then that is what we want to showcase to people. And we hope that if they take it on, then more people will come in. And I also want to add that it will be good for people to see this as an investment, not for when you've gone on retirement and you have nothing to do. It is better you start early, so that by the time you reach the retirement age, you have already paid for the cost of the investment, and it's just the revenues that you will be enjoying in your retirement.
Chile, before the ban in 2015, was among the highest revenue generators for Ghana. What could have led to the decline in revenue generation after the ban was lifted? Experts say more investments into the sector could help the sector rebound. Today on Food Chain, we looked at the chili value chain. My name is Emma Davis.